Okay, I'm live. Hopefully, I don't have the mic turned up too loud. Anyways, I got some good stuff here for us today, there, folks. I'm going to start it with some positive stuff, actually. I was thinking about even switching up and doing a live stream as it pertains to just some of the stuff I'm going to show you here first, but now we can get to that at another point in time. It's not like this is going to be my last live stream. There's lots more where this is coming from, right? And anyways, like I said, I'm just going to give some time for some people to trickle in here to the stream. And get everything set up in the background. Okay, what's the first one I'm gonna do here? Let's do this one. Yeah, might as well bring that one up. Oh no, not that, not that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right. Oh, what the heck? Feeling a little impatient this morning. I'm going to get right into it here. Just a sec. Take a little sip of pop. Okay. Let's make sure this is brought up here. Yeah. Okay, everything's looking good so far. Right on. Hey, what's going on, GTO Mama? Long time is right. Long time for sure. Nice to see you're in the chat there. Hopefully you stick around for a little while because, like I say, you got some pretty wild stuff on the back burner today. Well, we're going to bring it to the front. But like I said, I'm going to talk about, or kind of bring something a little bit different than what the heading for this one is for. Although we're definitely going to deal with those climate alarmists. My God, they're a destructive bunch, huh? Tear it all down. Right? Just wow, I can't even imagine what it must be like to live in their head. Ooh, I mean that's some form of imprisonment right there, right? Cruel and unusual punishment, self-inflicted at that. Wow, what the hell is going on with people? Like I say, I can't wait till maybe 20, 30 years in the future and find out. Or hopefully, I'm still around by then and find out how people are going to write about this kind of insanity that's taking place. I mean, we already, those of us that are kind of in the know and at least are somewhat grounded, right? We kind of already see and acknowledge just how fucking crazy things are. But once enough time has, passed by, I guarantee it's going to seem even worse than what we're thinking of it currently. So yeah. Anyways, like I said, let me just show you this. So this here, obviously, you can probably already see that, right? Yeah. So this is, I'm on Elon Musk, by the way, just so you know, I'm scrolling on Elon Musk's own personal X account, right? His own personal account on X, formerly known as Twitter. And yeah, oh, you want to believe? I was like, oh yeah. I've always suspected, you folks have heard me say this anyways, Elon's a libertarian. Make no mistake about it. You know, he might not run around with the logos and labeling and brandings and such. He's got his other brands to worry about, right? They put front and center, right? The ones that actually make him some coin, right? Like, X, well, not so much X, right? But I mean, you got Tesla, SpaceX, and his companies, the Boring Company, I mean, Neuralink. I mean, the guy's just unbelievable amount of companies. But yeah, he's and Starlink. I can't forget about Starlink. Thank you, Starlink. Thank you, Elon. Thank you to the team at SpaceX, because yeah, that's the only reason why I have a decent internet connection these days is precisely and because of people like Elon. But anyways, like I say, so this just going to play this little bit that he shared, and you folks probably already familiar with was it Javier Milei, right? The new president of Argentina, who's an actual libertarian and not shy in the slightest or downplaying the labeling, right? Now the guy totally talks about not just the fact that he's a libertarian, but constantly quoting like, Hayek, Mises, and I think even Rothbard. I mean, the guy, the great libertarian thinkers of not just our time, but in past times as well. But yeah, anyway, so let me just play this little bit here. Hopefully, let me put this back so you'll be able to hear it.
En primer lugar, hay una frase.
Actually, I suppose I forgot to mention, it's obviously going to be, you'll have to translate. Well, it's already translated for you. So just kind of read along. I would imagine you folks should be able to see that, right? I think so. Or would you like me to read it for you? Well, actually, I'll try to read along, actually. Let's try this. First of all, there's a phrase from Milton Friedman. Okay, let's see if I can do it quick enough. Anyways, here, all right.
de Milton Friedman que me parece
That I
sublime
think is
respecto a estos
sublime in
temas,
the
que es
context of this topic.
cuando vos pones
I suppose I should maybe turn this down so you can hear me. A society that puts equality before freedom will get neither. Oh, beautiful. So true. So true.
la igualdad por encima de la libertad, no terminás consiguiendo ninguna de las dos. Cuando vos pones la libertad
A
por
society that
encima
puts
de la
freedom
igualdad,
before equality
conseguís
will
muchas
get
de
a
las
high
dos.
degree of both.
El propio John Stuart Mill
Even John
señalaba
Stuart
que
Mill
una
pointed that
sociedad
out. A
donde
society that
hace
obsesses with
tanto hincapié en
equality
la igualdad, a la postre se
sooner or
vuelve
later
una
becomes
sociedad
a
de
society of
saqueadores y
looters
seguidores.
and falls
Esa es
apart.
la historia de Argentina.
That is the
Hablaban de
story
la
of
tiranía de la
Argentina.
mayoría.
Bueno, por eso.
And this other gentleman said they talked about the tyranny of the majority, right? And once again, lots of quotes. And as you see, actually, I don't know if you see in the bottom of this, but they're actually showing whoever put this up, showing where those quotes actually came from, right? So, Hayek or others. Anyways, continuing on, or Friedman.
Eso. Ahí
Therefore, the
justamente,
point is that
justamente
social
el punto
justice
cuál
is
es,
unjust.
que la justicia social es injusta.
There is
No hay
nothing
nada
more
más
unjust
injusto que la
than social
justicia social.
justice.
Porque ¿cuál
Because
es
what
el
it is the
gran logro
greatest
del
achievement of
liberalismo?
liberalism?
El gran logro del liberalismo
Liberalism's
es
greatest
haber
achievement is
logrado
equality
la
before the law.
igualdad ante la ley. Es decir, la
This
ley
is to
es
say
la
the law
misma
is
para
the same
todos.
for everyone.
Cuando vos
When you adhere to the ideas of
vas
social
por el tema de
justice,
la justicia social, que es la
which means the
redistribución del
redistribution
ingreso,
of income,
vos en el
what
fondo
you're
lo que
really
estás
doing
haciendo es utilizar
is
el
using the
aparato
repressive state
represivo del Estado
apparatus.
para sacar.
Actually, let me go back because, yeah, that's a label given to the state by Marxist philosopher Louis Althusser. So, like I say, they're putting all this stuff at the bottom. Anyway, let me continue on. Is using the repressive state apparatus
Aparato represivo del Estado para sacar
so you can take from the
al
successful
exitoso para
to
distribuirlo
distribute it
antojadizamente en
capriciously
función de lo que
according
tiene
to the
que estar en
wishes
la
of
puerta.
whomever is in power. So, like I say, and this, obviously, this, actually, no, I'm not going to stop sharing. I'm going to keep that there, actually, because we're going to go back. This is what Elon Musk chose to retweet and to share on X. And what are we at here? Yeah, 57 million views. You see that? 57 million views, folks. Oh, don't you just love what Elon Musk? Remember all those times in the past? And there's been other examples, of course, but when I've heard other people say, well, what can I do? I'm just one man, or I'm just one woman. Elon Musk is one man. Now, I'll admit, yes, he's definitely in a position to be able to punch way above the weight of the rest of us, or at least most of us, right? But there's your answer. What can one man do? Look at what he can do. One man is doing a lot. Now, I'm not going to give credit to Elon and Elon alone. I'm also not one of those people that just plays up the strong man or the guy at the top and forgets about the fact that there's a whole team of people, a whole lot of other people, or even people like myself that are contributing to the rise of these kind of popular ideas and notions and the defense of liberty. So yes, there are others out there, but like I say, this one guy who happens to have a lot of money at his disposal, was he the richest man in the world, or depending on the day or how the markets are playing out, right? Is maybe second or third. But you're talking about this thing, and that's the thing. Maybe he's reading Milton Friedman, right? Because wasn't it Milton Friedman that said that? Yeah, it's up to the rich people, the people who have become successful because of capitalism, to stand up and defend capitalism and free market capitalism, which is based on individual liberty and all the underlying principles and ethics that entails. And yes, Elon Musk is now stepping up. I mean, the man has stepped up just so that we have a place to have genuine freedom of speech, or at least, the closest thing so far in terms of social media as it pertains to freedom of speech. Much better than the rest. And I'll get to that a little bit later on. Damn it, with all this craziness. But anyways, the fact that he's got just this platform alone. And like I say, I don't even have to rely on, think about the kind of freedom, the kind of liberty that I was afforded. Now I'm paying for it, right? You got to pay to play. And like I say, we all got to put skin in the game. But Starlink, I don't have to rely on Bell, or I don't have to rely on any of these socialist, quasi-fascistic corporations in Canada who would do the bidding of the Trudeau Liberals. I'm fortunate that I deal directly with Starlink. I don't have to put up with the shit. Like I say, even for all the people in Canada, not that I really care. I don't really watch RT really much, other than to maybe if I need to learn some things or a little bit of nuance or some alternative perspective in terms of what's going on in Ukraine or a few other things, right? A few of the geopolitical stories that have taken place or transpired over the years. But yeah, it's nice to know because I have Starlink and don't rely on Rogers or Bell, who all, basically goose stepped together with the government and basically suppressed our ability to even have alternative sources such as the RT. And yes, of course, the RT is Russia's propagandist arm, basically akin or aligned with the CBC, which is Canada's state-funded broadcaster, right? Same shit, different pile as far as I'm concerned, but I can actually go and get that. I can see that right now. If I want to go look at what RT is reporting on and watch all their news stories, I can do it because I use Starlink. And I don't rely on, like I say, these Canadian corporations that have just sold themselves and their customers and Canadians up the river long ago. I don't know why if they're doing it for ideological reasons, right? Maybe get caught their pants down some point in time and they're being blackmailed. How would I know? Or maybe they're just terrible people themselves. Or maybe they're doing so because they're forced and compelled because government, right? Well, that sucks to have to deal with that, right? And that trickles on down to people like you or I, and which is why, like I say, I do my best. I take that personal responsibility to get myself out from underneath that kind of a boot, right? And I'm glad to know that there are lots of other people who do as well. But anyways, let me get back. So that was that. And beautiful, right? Beautiful. Oh, wait now. Actually, no, if I scroll down. So I wanted to show you this. Look at the reply, right? Check this out. Under the Colin Wright one right here, Millet explains. So this is basically translated anyways, but check this out. Thank you for sharing, Elon. Appreciate how X.com has become a just and open marketplace for ideas for all. Nice, right? Anyway, so yeah, let me get back. And okay, so there was that one. And then just don't have to scroll down very far either. And here we go. Oh, look at this. Oh, wait, no, I actually took me to there. I had to do this. yeah. Check that out. You see that book? Look at the book. Elon, great book by Hayek, The Road to Serfdom. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I got my copy. Yeah, it's a great book. Truly is. And it's wild. And then, of course, right underneath of that, right? Look at this one. Here's another one. Boom. Elon Musk shared back on December the 4th. Nothing could contribute more to the cure of humanity's ills than to give people a better understanding of economics. F.A. Hayek. yeah. I got Hayek books back there too, right? So this is just, like I say, this is amazing. Other Hayek books back there. But yeah, I got to make sure I keep myself in front of the mic here. So I might have to just move my chair. I'm trying out a couple different angles there for my mic placement. And yeah, this seems to be not too bad. Although I had it another kind of centered in front of me. I think it might have been better. Although try to keep my hands free for the check. That's pretty impressive, right? And then here's the 1 minute version, right? So there's that. And yeah, of course, anatomy of the state. But like I say, just impressive. A lot of libertarian oriented stuff finding its way on the X platform these days. And Elon Musk himself. And actually, there was another one. I'm not going to try to look for it now, but there was another area where Javier Milei actually replied to Elon Musk and said, we need to talk. So, whether that's in the works or it's already happened, I don't know. But yeah, I would love to be privy to that conversation, right? So anyways, that was good for that. Yeah, that's good for that. So we're going to close up that one. Yeah, we'll save that one for a little later too. Oh, and this one. Yes. But I did want to get to this before we start. So as you folks know, one of the main reasons, one of the drivers behind why I do what I do, and I've done for years and years and now, and doing these live streams and videos, and what am I up to now? About 1,300, just under 1,400, somewhere between 1,400 videos and live streams. And of course, it's all replicated and duplicated sometimes even if I'm not doing the video, but the kind of articles or things that I reference, I also redundantly make sure I have them shared in article form or posts on places like Minds and Facebook and Locals, Gab, other alternative social media platforms. And this I wanted to show you. This is, and I mean, we knew this was going to happen, so it's not a complete surprise to me. But wow, all that work I put in. And like I say, folks, they're really desperate to control so much. But check this out. So this was, all I did was type in climate change. I could have used a couple extra keywords. It probably would have given me even more results. And I will even admit myself, I don't cover the climate change thing, although probably going to have to now that they're trying to bring that front to center. See, it was put on the back burner during COVID, right? Which, as you know, I hundreds of live streams and videos in terms of covering COVID over the years, and quite extensively, as you know, lots of material to go through for that. But here we go. So here's my Facebook page, my Canadian Libertarian Facebook page. And well, this one, it was just a picture. So you know, that was an easy one. But if I scroll down, now this here is an article out of FEE, which isn't a news publication per se, which is why that's probably there. Once again, just a meme. But here's where we're getting to it. So this would have probably been establishment media articles, because as you folks know, I share a lot of their articles to point out their lies, the hypocrisy, the rhetoric, the propaganda, the bullshit that they espouse, right? But here, this is what's taking place now because of this whole Bill C-18, and because Facebook, and thankfully Zuckerberg and his crew had the courage to say, you know what? No, we're not playing game and we're not paying for you. You want us to force us into that situation? Well, we just won't carry news on our platform at all. But now, once again, people like myself are actually on the losing side of that equation, unfortunately. And not just people like myself, but for people who may in the future want to learn or digest some of the information that I provided and the context that I provided in reference to these kinds of articles for years now. But here, as you can see, this content isn't available in Canada. Now, this was the guy I just talked to not long ago. So it's probably because climate change is in the heading. But here's another one, right? Content isn't available in Canada. Content isn't available in Canada. Population. So this is a YouTube. So yes, YouTube, you can still get access to YouTube, just not social establishment media, right? So, and some people think that's a good thing. It's like, well, no, because now they can fucking hide their dirt. Like now, like this is the thing. Now I don't have well, actually I can, but I just have to use like, you know, archives sites, or there's a lot more work involved now. So yes, I can still get it, but it was much easier, much simpler before this took into account. So as much as people are reveling in the fact that, yeah, Canadian news aren't on Facebook anymore. Yeah, like I say, there's positive aspects to that, I suppose, right? But there's also some very negative aspects that comes with that too. Because once again, now they can hide from certain amount of people their dirt that no longer exists. It's boom, gone like a fart in the wind. And once again, so here you go again. Content isn't available in Canada. Another YouTube video. Content isn't available in Canada. Content isn't available in Canada. Anyways, no need to. Content isn't available in Canada. So anyways, no need to continue on. I'm basically, I think I've proved my point in that now. I think I've beaten that horse profusely, right? But yeah, so that's kind of a bad thing. And I mean, they're not done yet. That's the thing. These so-called progressives, these leftists, they're still hell-bent, right? In denying our voices or suppressing information and just downright creating as much division and rhetoric, divisive rhetoric. And that's the thing. When this kind of stuff's taking place, the most important thing that people need is to be able to have access to alternative points and perspective, and even the information that was offered by the establishment. You got to have it so you can point out, see, right? You got to have the evidence, right? And they're hell-bent to this day and still going hard in terms of denying this, all of that. But anyway, so let me get back to, this one here. We might as well get to this. Oh, no, actually, let me bring this up too. So this is my Canadian Libertarian YouTube channel. Because once again, I just, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with how I do my things, So as I mentioned, I basically whatever my live stream or video that I do, I make sure that's still up there. Yeah, okay. Is I make sure. So let's use an example. So let's say for today, and or for people like yourself, let's say you want to learn about the fact that wait a minute, didn't Bennett cover that like CBC tried to tie climate change and racism to the coronavirus, COVID-19 outbreak? Oh yeah, and they actually did. And this is the beautiful thing is you don't have to even necessarily, if you don't want to hear me ramble on, although I think I do a pretty good job for the most part. So hey, there's that. But of course, I'm a little biased. But anyways, but even if you just wanted to have actual proof of those articles, right? So here's the thing: you just click on the actual link. So I would click on the climate change, right? So I'm going to do that. Now, let me bring this off. Let's stop this and bring it on to. Oh, wait, now. No, I should have left that on. My bad. Because, yeah, I didn't have to switch it out, to be honest with you. So basically, so now that you can see, so all you have to do is go down now to the more section. So we're the description of the live stream. Oh, I better make sure I keep my voice close by here. And there you'll see it. There's the two articles. And actually, I already have one of them opened up. So let me close that up real quick. Okay. And we'll bring this on. So this was the article that I was referencing. And boom, here it is right there. The link is right there that you can use if you're trying to educate and inform others or point out some of the craziness or the insanity that the establishment has reported on or the kind of political bent and bias or ideological bent or bias that they've used to try to talk about this stuff. There it is. It's right there in black and white. So anything, like I say, anything. And all you have to do, I probably could have showed that back there. Actually, oh yeah, is this the one? Oh, this is okay. This is my new live stream. But anyways, I should have showed you that actually, yeah, I already closed it up. So basically, there's, as you folks know, if you go to my channel, actually, no, let me just do that. I'll bring this right up to my channel. Is this one being okay? So let's stop that. So the live stream is working. So let me take it here. Go to okay, so go to live or videos. We'll go back to the videos. So yeah, we'll go that, bring this back up. Because like I said, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you folks so you understand how everything goes and how you can take advantage of all the work I've put in over the years. So all you basically have to do, if you can see there now, okay, is this little magnifying thing right here. Just click on it and just put in whatever keyword that you want. Climate change, COVID-19, lockdowns, right? Economics, central bank, Bank of Canada, even for that matter, Federal Reserve, Ukraine, whatever the keyword, whatever the kind of story or topic or subject matter that you want to see if I've covered in the past, then all you have to do is just type that into the search word and it will come up for you. All right. Here, let's just do the Ukraine here. Ukraine. So there you go. And there it comes up, discussing Russia's battles and Putin's blunder with Dave Erickson, urban warfare in mega cities, an analysis from Dave Erickson, democracy, multiculturalism, identity politics equals perpetual tribal conflicts, COVID conflict and corporate cancel culture. So all of these things, there would have had something in there where I was discussing the topic of Ukraine. And once again, every one of those videos or my live streams all have the links to all the articles and source material that I used during them. So once again, take advantage of that, folks. And like I say, feel free to let others know as well, because I don't do it just for my own personal consumption or pleasure. It's for others as well. That's why I've always said too, feel free to share all of my content. Hell, download it, clip it, snip it, as long as you're not misrepresenting my views or trying to, pretend that you're doing it instead of me, right? As long as I get the credit where credit is due. Like I say, I do this because I'm looking at the big picture. It's really important to have all this information and to have it in one spot makes it quite convenient, right? But to have it in a manner that gives as many people as possible a means to push back against their narrative and their propaganda. That's why I do what I do. So anyway, so let's just move beyond that to some of the insanity. And this actually came up in my feed, so I figured let's cover this one first. Or actually, no, before I get to it, let me just jump in the old chat, see how you folks are doing. A libertarian is considered far right. I know. How crazy is that, right? Far right. Well, everyone, actually, it's funny because who was I listening to? Actually, it was Elon Musk himself that was talking about this stuff. It might have been when he was on stage with that New York Times guy. But he's so right about this. Is what it is when you think about the people who are literally the thought leaders and part of the ruling elite these days, they're so far to the left, right? That of course, everyone, even now, if Mao was alive today, right, they would probably call Mao a far right guy because they're even further left than Mao, for fuck's sakes. That's how far left they are, that even Mao, right, or Stalin would be like, they'd be calling him a far right character. So, and that actually, really, if you think about it, makes a whole lot of sense, right? Why they're, oh yeah, libertarians are far right. Yeah, but I get you. It is insanity, GDO Mom. I get it. David, what's going on, my friend? Nice to see you in the chat. Anything not lunatic left is far right. Exactly. Dave knows. David gets it, man. David always gets it. Hey, 1,400 videos, Bennett. If I had that many, I'd have mobs at my door every day. Yeah, I do. Seriously. Well, videos and live streams. I will admit that within the last few years, especially during COVID, because if I had to try to cover everything in video form, holy shit, I would have been busier than a one-legged man in the butt kicking contest, as they say, right? And wow, holy crap, a lot of work. And I probably wouldn't have been able to cover it all, which is why I did a lot of stuff in live stream form. Because 2 or 3 hours, you can cover a lot of articles, a lot of information, right? But yeah, probably around there, David. But like I say, that's combining both videos and live streams. But yeah, thanks. Okay, GTO. I used to be able to find crimes in my neighborhood. Since 18, gone. Yeah, that's the insanity, right? That is the pure insanity. But I would say this too. Oh, I still use the scanner. I go to the old police scanner, right on. That's hilarious, actually. That's funny. But yeah, in terms of the local news, well, this is once again, this is just me spitballing here, and I'm not even saying that you necessarily have to do anything yourself, but and what I've been doing and seeing a lot of others been doing, well, hey, either you or maybe someone you know, step up and fill that void, that gap. Like I say, we live in the age of information. Even the tools that we need at our disposal to become journalists, reporters, or people that are trying to get the pulse of the nation and figure things out, what's happening in our own backyard. Like I say, well, we all got a cell phone. So boom, you don't even have to really go out and buy yourself a camera. And hey, a microphone is built into that cell phone. So actually, you've already got your mic and you've already got your camera. So you're already about 3/4 of the way to being a journalist, right? And be able to hold people to account and do the kind of things or report on the kind of things that need to be reported on, because that is what I think we really have to do. Is if we want to counter or challenge the status quo or the current establishment, yeah, some people want to tear it down. That's those far lefties, but don't want nothing to do with those folks. But rather than tear things down, yes, whether they're being torn down or they're destroying their own systems or institutions, right? Or selling them because of their poor reputation and their complete bias and their propaganda. Well, yeah, this is where we can fill that void. This is where we can step up and, like I say, create the kind of world that we want to live in. We have to create the world we want to live in. It's up to us. It's our responsibility. And of course, that's not me saying that you GTO mama, you yourself personally, right? You might have a gazillion other things on your plate. So I'm not suggesting that you have to be, but this is kind of the thing, right? Is we do have to fill those voids and those gaps, but we want the kind of people to do it for the right reasons, and with the right incentives. And actually being honest, right? And that, like I say, that take advantage of that fact. Sure, it might suck that there's some established media outlets that we no longer are privy to use, but who's to say a lot of those ones might have completely distorted the news or misrepresented what actually took place anyway? So we might be better off in the long run right? It's just, I get it. And it's not a great thing. I'm not even saying that it's a great thing. I'm not happy about all this stuff myself, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, I just wish people in these positions, right, that are supposed to be adversarial to government and hold political actors to account, it's kind of their thing, or at least it was supposed to be, if they would just do their fucking jobs, then hey, why have to keep building all these things? Why have to duplicate? Why, redundancy is okay, but if it's unneeded or unnecessary, then we could put our resources or our thoughts or our ideas elsewhere. The fact that we have to do this stuff, yeah, I get it. Kind of sucks, but hey, something's got to be done. And I'm just happy to know that there are some people that are willing to step up and are in positions in order to do so. So, like I say, I'm always going to try to find the good or the positive side of that stuff. Anyway, so let me get to, so now that I've read some of these comments, let me show you folks this one here. Yeah, I'm going to have to rewind this one. So bring it up. Twitter. X, I should say. X. So this is shared by Cosman de Souza. I believe he's a contributor to Post Millennial, correct? Oh, no, actually, no, True North Center. Sorry, my bad. I thought he was Post Millennial. Oh, wait, now, Post Millennial. Oh, yeah, he is an editor at Post. So now he's kind of working with True North as well. So anyways, but he does some great content, I got to say. So he's definitely worth following. And he was sharing this. Watch this panel of activists from Canada and abroad at COP28 preach about climate genocide, white supremacy, decolonization, quasi-mystical animism in the name of intersectionality. Zero solution proposed by a whole lot of woke mumbo jumbo. So anyways, folks, yeah, listen to this. Like I say, these people, and I mean, sometimes you just want to think that they're just ill-informed, ignorant, naive individuals. But I mean, to get to the place where you're on stages such as this, I can't attribute that to them. To a lot of people, for sure, that they're just not in the know. They're just not up to speed, and they're kind of just go along with the current, establishment rhetoric or propaganda, right? But these people, I just can't give them that kind of a free pass. Anyways, here we go.
Need to draw upon, I would like to highlight especially the knowledge and leadership of Indigenous, Black, and Brown women and gender diverse leaders, feminists, and global women leaders who are already deeply engaged in solutions. In our work at WeCan, we are speaking out in the recognition of the sacredness and interdependence of all of the earth and life. We cannot continue business as usual. We cannot continue this extractive economy. Our call to action for gender justice, racial justice, upholding Indigenous rights, rights of nature, calling for a just transition, and immediately phasing out fossil fuels is an ongoing agenda for people and planet, and it's an urgent call for our very survival. False solutions, white supremacy, colonization, and patriarchy have no place in any climate action plan.
It's because the colonizer first came to our territory and destroyed most of our lands. The story of my people in our traditional way, we came from the mud, from the earth, in a hole in the earth. And our people, we didn't speak, we didn't talk, we didn't do anything. But a little bird saw these weird animals there, and he was curious to see what they were. And he flew there and got us there. And for us, this is really special.
I could tell you that 100% of this is a product of colonization. It is a product of the fossil fuel companies in our territory that are virtually killing us. It is genocide, and carry the guilt that are going to have to carry on their behalf for their misbehavior and the murder.
So you heard that, right? That lady literally, which is why you cannot attribute her just being a naive, ignorant fool, right? I wish you could. I wish you could. I'd like to be able to give her that fucking way of escaping accountability, but no. But to suggest that the very people who extract and produce the kind of energy that keeps this fucking woman, right, living the kind of fucking life that she's living, to be able to fly around the fucking world, to sit there and talk about this kind of insanity and talk about white this, white colonialism, to have such loathing and hatred and disdain for the very people who will make her fucking life possible, the kind of life that she's living now. I don't see her. I don't see her dressed only in animal skin attire that she or someone in her fucking family poached, did all the. Don't see that at all. If she did, I'll tell you right now, and I'm just being straight up and honest with you, even if I would disagree with her at some point or some level in terms of the rhetoric she's espousing, at least I'd have to say, hey, you know what? I disagree with this woman, but I respect her for stepping up and leading by example. I mean, these are fucking people that want us all just transition, ending fossil fuel extraction immediately. So if you want the world to starve and freeze to death, and no, that's not exaggeration or hyperbolic. It's actual fucking real. If you stopped extracting energy today, ended fossil fuel extraction today, that is exactly and precisely what would happen to millions and millions and possibly billions of people. But hey, if that's what you're advocating, and of course she would suggest, though, that people like me who want you to be able to, I'm okay with you, lady, having heat in your home, driving your car to go get your groceries at the grocery store or all these things that you do, all these modern amenities. I'm okay with that. But yet she would accuse someone like me for taking the stance I take is I'm into genocide. Meanwhile, she wants to cause what would, like I say, or to stop oil extraction, oil and gas extraction, which would cause the deaths of millions and millions, possibly millions of people. Right? I mean, like I say, but once again, at the very least, I'm against tyrants or control freaks, all these people, but I do hold out even just the slightest little bit of respect, at least for those, right, that have the courage of their convictions and are willing to walk the fucking walk instead of just talking the talk. Lead by example, lady, but no. Like I say, did she practice that speech while she's on her flight? Sure. I mean, just think about the kind of energy that these fucking, was it, half a dozen ladies here in this panel, whatever. Looks like, not a whole lot. Whatever. Anyways, doesn't look like it's a overly giant room or anything, but think about the energy that's used just for them to sit up there and virtue signal. Think about the kind of energy that was produced and used just for them to sit up there and virtue signal the kind of bullshit. And advocate for their own type of genocide, right? Wow. Holy fucking entitlement. Truly, it is. We live in such an age of abundance and entitlement that it is fucking destroying the minds, the resolve, the resiliency, the gumption, the ambition. Oh, it's just so many things that it has greatly contributed. But it's the thing. It doesn't have to be this way. It does not have to be this way. I don't know. These people need to find something in their fucking life to fulfill them, because without it, they're just going to continue to try to make the rest of our lives absolutely miserable. And not just in an annoying way, but in a way that has real world ramifications going forward. Anyways, let me finish this up. I know it's hard. Get your barf bag. Keep it handy.
Of the forelegs, the wings, and the murder of those that fins guide, and the murder of the water herself, and the murder of the sacred air, and the murder of the ways of the natural world. They have to carry that burden. What do we get to do? We get to be the sheroes and the heroes.
Thinking about your comments on the colonizers and the ways in which they've come in and changed our perspectives and are attempted to. And the word for a white person or a colonizer in our language is dotine, and it means like a person with no land.
Wow.
But that is a really big insult because we're dene, and the word dene means to flow from the land. It is a representation of the fact that we come from the land. So if you don't come from the land, then you are a lost soul.
Mm.
And I think how deeply our people pitied the colonizers when they came to our lands and territories, not only because they didn't have the land, they came from nowhere.
No land existed for them. But they didn't have those connections. They didn't have that understanding of the interrelationships and interconnectedness.
Come on. You know, far be it from me, right? I definitely am not the type of person to make fun of people with handicaps or mental issues, but you know, and I'm not going to do it here, but I'll point it out. These people, I mean, who is so obsessed with identity politics that you go to such extremes and to use such, I mean, just listen to the rhetoric. Just listen to the rhetoric. It's fucking baffling. Like I say, these people truly do live in their own hell. They are their own hell. And I like I say, I don't enjoy it. I don't revel in it per se. Some days, well, I would like to have a little empathy for them on some days until I hear them say rhetoric that's like they want to make my life and the life of my family so miserable to the point where they'd have us, if they had their choice or the outcome that they desire, we'd all be homeless, living in a snowbank, no clothes, not being able to consume energy, dying on the streets or freezing to death or starving to death. So it's kind of hard, really makes it really difficult. And which is, I don't even understand, even if their intention is to try to change the world for the good. Well, how the fuck do you think that's possibly going to happen when you use such disdain and hate-filled rhetoric towards people that you're trying to convince to do the things that you want them to do? Like I say, just it's mind-numbing how seemingly thoughtless these are in terms of running all that information through their head and actually making anything cohesive, coherent, or makes sense. It just, none of it makes sense to me. None of it. And hopefully, or should I say thankfully, if that's becoming blatantly obvious to more and more people these days. Thankfully. But yes. Anyways, like I say, all that stuff, the tweet stuff, I guess I can't have that embedded in my my stream. I guess I can't really, although I guess I could click on that link. But anyway, so let me just jump back into the or actually no, let me keep going. Yeah, so yeah, just let's just talk about some of it. Let's bring up another one. So this one came up. I mean, it's just the stuff that they're saying now. I mean, wow. How they're making these connections is just like, holy shit. Okay, so as you see here, Dubai climate talks focus on health as Canadian doctors warn patients already seeing impacts. So okay, anyways, let me get to it. Canadian Medical Association wants a cleaner, more resilient healthcare system. This report by Kyle Baca, December 3rd, 2023. A group of Canadian doctors are in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, this week at COP28 to raise awareness about the impacts climate change is having on the health of patients and the overall healthcare system. The closure of the Yellowknife, Hay River, and Fort Smith hospitals this summer for several weeks in the Northwest Territories is the latest example of how climate change can impact medical services, said Dr. Courtney Howard, an emergency room physician in Yellowknife. So they're going to try to attribute forest fires, and we know that some of those fires, they've even had to admit now, or the overwhelming majority of them, and yeah, I've covered that in the past too. What was it? 70+%, I believe was the numbers. I'm fairly sure I'm quoting that accurately, are a result of lightning. Are these people literally suggesting that lightning only exists because we want to have fucking like live outside of just the pure state of nature? We want to live like modern human beings live. Are they really suggesting that lightning only existed? What didn't exist prior to the Industrial Revolution? Really? Or the fact that some of them, I think it's a minority, smaller percentage of them, but a lot of those forest fires are set by arson or accident. What about that? So are we supposed to target anyone that has anything remotely or carries anything that could possibly be even remotely flammable, or anyone that makes a mistake that may cause a fire, are they terrible too? This is the fucking insanity. And where they're going with this stuff is once you start trying to put these things together, right, tie all these things together, then, I mean, it seems that there's no limit to where you can, all these degrees of separation cease to exist. And it's just basically you can take everything a straight line from everything we do to, yeah, it's your fault, right? Which actually, now that actually made me remember something. Actually, that just let me bring this up because, yeah, I thought this tweet was just so bang on, this meme. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to share this, but check this out. Because, yeah, this is a good answer. This is a good answer to that kind of rhetoric. Climate change, where the weather is always your fault and the only solution is socialism. And yeah, isn't that wild, right? Isn't that the most amazing thing ever? That the only solution to climate change apparently is you just got to bring out top-down authoritarian collectivism, right? Government has to steal your money, control every aspect of your social and economic life, and somehow that will magically, because as if these people in government, right, as if the elitists, as if the central planner types, as if what, they're the ones that are leading by example. What? Are these the ones that have the most reduced carbon footprint on the planet? Well, I would suggest no, as we're actually seeing. I can actually say with 100% honesty that me, the person that they would perceive as the bad guy, right, has a much, me and my whole family probably has a much smaller carbon footprint than just one of those people who get on these jet-setting little things where they're just going all over the world or expending so much energy to rail against people who are just using enough energy to get by for the most part. I mean, what the fuck? But like I say, we all know, or those of us that are in the know, just how insane or the kind of rhetoric they'll use. Like I say, they tried to usher in socialism under the COVID thing too, right? Or if you go back far enough to 9/11 with all the the Canada and the US and all these other governments creating all these, like Canada was Bill C-51, the US, it was the National Defense Authorization, the Patriot Act. Yeah, they use all kinds of, any excuse they can come up with to create more authoritarianism or to take more social and economic control over all of our lives, right? And that is what the socialists, I mean, like I say, whether you want to call them socialists these days, communists, fascists, right? Hey, I don't know exactly. So why not just bring it back to the macro and they're just call them for a label that's appropriate for all of their isms, which is authoritarian collectivists. That is what they are at the end of the day. Authoritarian collectivists. I've said that so many times now. Sometimes it feels like I'm a broken record, but that is truly the best label that you can give these people, because the minute you use something like socialism, but I get it. So I get it. I mean, people don't get that. They're like, oh, they're not socialists. I'm not a socialist. I'm a communist, or I'm not, or no, I'm all about democracy or social democracy. So they've got all kinds of terms to describe their form of authoritarian collectivism. But yeah, at the end of the day, that is what they are. That is what they represent, is authoritarian collectivism. Anyway, so I brought that up. Get that one. Okay, let me close that. Did I really need to? Actually, yeah, I'll bring this back up because, yeah, let's just read a little bit more of their insanity, right? I get a kick out of it sometimes, right? Are you not entertained? Anyway, so, yeah, once again, I got to remember to stay in front of my microphone here. So, the closure of the, we already did that. Our entire hospital needed to evacuate this summer, so that 100-bed hospital required a military operation for us to relocate those patients with the help of people from multiple provinces in a healthcare system that's already under strain, she said in an interview with CBC News at the UN Climate Summit in Dubai. We can see that it's not only impacting health, but in fact, the health system we all depend on for our health care, she said. Climate change is increasing the risk and frequency of extreme weather events around the globe, scientists have said. And they're suggesting this because of what? It's getting warmer. Now, could you imagine if it was the opposite? let's say we were on the cycle of the earth where we're going through a cooling phase. I mean, they would all still be fucking coughing up probably because of their agenda, rhetoric, but then they'd have to go completely opposite and it's getting colder. Right? What kind of bullshit would they offer if the temperatures were getting colder? Right? Same kind of bullshit, just change whether the degrees are going up to reversing them that they're going down. And like I say, we all know whether you want to say that it's man-made, just part of Earth's natural cycle, and the way that this plays out, right? Or a combination of both, which of course, I would suggest there's probably a little bit, of course, we contribute in some small way for sure, but with every problem that humans have created or invented in the past, or most of them, I would suggest, someone else has come up with a multitude or a myriad of ways to fix those problems. They're called solutions, right? And that's the beauty of the marketplace of ideas, is you can get a plethora of ideas. But what are these folks? What? No, not a plethora of ideas, not competing ideas in the marketplace, being inventive, creative, and innovative in terms of figuring this stuff out, right? Which is actually subtly taking place in the background. But no, they want to do a one-size-fits-all approach, right? They want to steal your money and control every aspect of your social and economic life. And that, they believe, is going to fix it. But once again, wouldn't they have to at least have some track record of past successes to even pretend or suggest that they could do so or replicate that kind of going forward? Well, you would think, but they have nothing but a trail of tears and failures. That's it. That's it. Oh, and a whole shitload of debt, right? And unfunded liabilities. That's about what they got. So where's the evidence that anything that they do, including the rhetoric, is going to actually do what they suggest they can do? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. And I guarantee it. Like I said, I don't like to make predictions. I've said this many times in the past, but this is one area where I'm so comfortable. It's like saying, I'll bet the sun comes up tomorrow morning. Now, I suppose there's a 1 in a gazillion chance that might not happen. But if you say that, it's really pretty comfortable. You go to sleep pretty good that night knowing you're going to be right. So it's kind of the same idea now, right? Anyways, let me continue on here. Health is Sunday's official theme. Now, that's the other thing. The fact that they're making this into the health, right? Into health, the climate change, they're trying to connect that with health. Remember that article that I read early on where climate change and all these connections, and that was from 2020 during COVID. But the fact that they're trying to tie climate change to health, yeah, because they're in charge of, like, the central planners, the elitists, the ruling class, they're in charge of healthcare and the healthcare systems, right? So yeah, they're going to use whatever avenue or venue that they have at their disposal. So yeah, they'll tie it into anything they can, so that they can once again take even more controls of power or mechanisms of power and use that to batter us over the head with profusely. And once again, at the end of the day, it's not going to make one bit of difference in terms of this climate change bullshit, right? And no, that's not me saying that the climate does not change. Holy fuck. Only a fool would suggest that the climate doesn't change. First of all, there's a reason why they went from global warming, right, to that, to now they just call it climate change, because, like, who can deny that the climate changes, right? And they'll even say that if anyone tries to say anything at all that's nuanced, that's what the first thing they bring up is, are you denying that the climate changes, right? That's their way of trying to gaslight you and play these fucking psychologically manipulative games, right? Sick bunch as far as I'm concerned, which is why, like I say, these people, I wish I could just say that these people, right, these particular actors and activists, right, these ones that really are leading the charge for this, climate change alarmism, I would love to say they're just a bunch of naive, foolish, and ignorant folks. But once again, no, I truly believe, just like the title of this stream, I believe that some of them have violent intentions, right? Have pettiness, resentment, revenge as the main drivers behind their initiatives, right? And their goals. Even self-harm, I would suggest, right? Which is why I named this stream, the insidious Chicken Littles, right? They truly are the Chicken Littles of our time. Make no mistake about it. Everything, the sky is always falling. COVID, right? The sky is falling, right? It's that because they realize and recognize that historically the best means to take control over people is to psychologically manipulate them to cause them mass hysteria and fear. Fear is how they control most people. And they were doing a good job there for a while, but it does seem, for me at least, that something has come off the track as of late. And I'm starting to see that even people who would be staunch supporters of the loony left in their movement are finally coming around saying, okay, no more. Fool me once, right? And no more. Yeah, exactly. Justin Turtle, you get it. Yeah, exactly. Doomer cultists. What up? And that's the best label that I could possibly think of to call them. Patriot Act currently being used against patriotic parents. Yeah, crazy. Actually, you know what's funny? I'm just going to mention this actually. No, actually, I'll bring it up in another live stream. There's just so much stuff. Anyways, let me bring this one up. So that's there. That's good enough for that one. But check this out. Now tell me this isn't an alarmist headline, right? An article. Make sure you folks can see that. Yep. Oh, wait. There we go. Share. Sharon is Karen. So, of course, this is out of CTV. CTV, CBC. Same shit, different pile. Slight different odor, but not a whole lot in the difference these days. But anyway, so you got extreme weather driven by climate change could shut down more than 16,000 hospitals worldwide, report. Like, what the hell? What a fucking goddamn thing to come up with. Anyways, let me just read a little bit of this. This is reported by Nushin Ziafati, December 3rd, 2023. One in 12 hospitals around the world are at risk of partial or total shutdown from extreme weather events by 2100 if countries fail to curb fossil fuels emissions, a new report warns. Like, wow, what's it mean? Unbelievable. This is the thing when you give these people, this is a direct consequence and a result of creating not just like things like gender studies, right? Fucking all these stupid retarded fucking studies, identity politics study bullshit, right? Or this kind of climate change bullshit. I mean, you're literally incentivizing people to find a needle in a haystack or making a mountain out of a molehill. You're literally incentivized this kind of alarmism. And it's such a fucking bullshit way to deal with fucking things. Like, how soul crushing is it? You constantly play up alarmism and this defeatist mindset where all we have left to do is throw up our hands or just surrender to the ruling class and hope that they just do everything right to save us all from ourselves, right? Meanwhile, like I say, there's a gazillion other ways out there, and people like Elon Musk, that while these idiots are parroting these rhetoric, these talking points or this bullshit rhetoric, you got people like your Elon Musk of the world, or so many others, who are creating, inventing, and innovating to the point where it's going to prove that all of this bullshit, all this rhetoric is absolutely nonsense. Because real people are out there doing real work to deal with all of the situations that we humans have to deal with. That's the way it's been through all of humanity. Humanity has always undertaken, rising to extreme challenges through our entire history. That is what it is to be human, right? That's what all peoples who thrive and survive, all species, that's literally what they do. And humans are the fucking best at it. So to pretend that we humans now all of a sudden, like, just think about what these people are doing to the mindsets of most people. You're telling them that you're a nothing and nobody. You'll never be able to figure anything out. And you need us, your thought leaders, your opinion makers, and your rulers, the ruling class, to take care of you from cradle to grave, because you're just not going to be able to do it, right? I mean, no wonder No wonder they have such self-loathing and have such alarmist mentality, because they just don't know how to think critically about seemingly anything these days. And I feel sorry for anyone who falls for this kind of rhetoric. Because, yeah, you're going to wait till that day comes where you sober up and realize just what kind of bill of sale and the kind of rhetoric that they espouse. It was all based on an agenda and completely baseless in terms of how reality will eventually unfold. I assure you that. Anyways, of course, you see that? What's the first thing they're going to say right in here? Once they start the fear mongering. Without a phase out of fossil fuels, a total of 16,245 hospitals could be some. I mean, that's the thing. These people, they're playing with these modeling things, right? Like they just, it's all based. I mean, if you want to put it, of course, these modelings are completely based on your inputs. And do you think that these people might have a bias in terms of the kind of inputs that they're entering into these equations, into these models? Like, it's just, anyways. The report was released in time for the COP28 Climate Summit's Health Day, which saw global leaders come together in Dubai on Sunday to discuss how to strengthen the resilience of health systems in the face of climate change. Climate change is increasingly impacting the health of people around the world, said Dr. Carl Malone, Director of Science and Technology at XDI, in a news release. Anyways, folks, to be honest with you, I'm kind of a little bit like you folks on some days when it comes to stuff like this. I can't read this shit. It's so fucking mind-numbingly boring and wonkish that and so off base. I'm sorry. I won't put you folks through that. So there's that. I'm having a merciful moment today. What was the next one? Oh, yeah. Actually, I won't even necessarily bring up this article. I did kind of cover a little bit on some of my social media. I think I might even touched on a little bit in the past live stream, but it's another headline out of CBC News. If Canada axed its carbon tax and rebates, this is how different households would gain or lose. So basically, the rhetoric espoused in this is actually, if you get rid of the carbon tax, it's actually going to be worse. Terrible. It's going to be the worst thing ever, especially if you're poor. Because they're saying that the majority of the plurality, the most people in Canada are getting back more than they put in. Like, what a snake oil salesman tactic that is, right? Right. Oh, no. Like, oh, no, I'm taxing you, but don't worry, you're going to get back. Well, then what the fuck? If I'm getting back more than what you're taking from, then what the fuck was the point in taking from me in the fucking first place? How have you incentivized anything if I'm going to get back more? Because apparently I'll just go buy. So if I don't buy it today and you give me the money tomorrow, well, I'll just go ahead and buy that shit tomorrow. Well, like I say, none of it makes any fucking sense whatsoever. But of course, that's the kind of rhetoric there is going to espouse. Is up is down, in is out, and black is white. And yeah, carbon taxes will make you richer. Well, I suppose this is the crazy thing. Is there a lot of times they're just projecting when they're saying that stuff, because that can be a truthful statement. There are definitely people enriching themselves and benefiting tremendously at other people's expense through this kind of carbon tax scheme, right? But to pretend or suggest that it's the majority, or even if it was, that's the other thing, even if it was the majority, taxation is theft. Stealing from some people to give to others. Just sure, if you're the benefactor or the recipient of the proceeds of theft, sure, you're going to benefit from it. But that's obscuring or leaving out the very real fact that it is highly immoral and unethical to steal from people like myself, because I'm not putting in for no fucking lame ass carbon tax. Yeah, I don't want any more of a relationship with the government that's already forced or thrust upon me as it is, right? I'm not going to give them any sense of legitimacy. So no, I don't get no carbon rebate. Actually, I'm in New Brunswick, so I wouldn't get one anyways. But even if you're at this time where it does happen, I don't want nothing to do with it, even though, I might get a fucking few bucks. Like I say, I am never going to give anyone in government any pretense that, of course I'll have to do what they do. They basically arbitrarily control me in some way, right? Or they threaten to put me in cage or steal my money or severely punish or penalize me if I don't go along. So of course, right? When the proverbial gun's your head, I'm going to do pretty much what you're going to do if I'm stuck in a situation where you literally have the gun to my head and I have no escape, right? But You're never going to convince me that I should opt in or agree to this stuff. And it's not going to ever happen. Not going to happen. So I'll never see a rebate. Of course, I could use the money, right? They're stealing from me. Of course, I could use to get, even if it was just a portion of it back, it'd be nice to, but once again, I'm not stupid enough to play that game for them for that few $100, or even if it worked out to be $1,000 over the course of the year or whatever. It's not worth it. Same with the CERB and all that shit. Didn't want nothing to do with that stuff. Not playing the fucking games, right? And yes, it's a bit of a detriment to me. And I get how some people would say, well, aren't you kind of shooting yourself in your own proverbial foot in some way? Yeah, in some small way, but I'll do just fine. And I sleep really good at night, maintaining my principles and uphold myself to a higher standard than most. But anyway, so I'll just close that one up. What do we get here? Oh, actually, yeah, let me just make sure that forgot to check and make sure that the old Rumble was working. Oh, I should actually have went on to X and make sure that this live stream is going on. I forgot that actually. Let me do that. Let people know that I am live streaming. Yeah, there I am. Not one like, not one retweet or repost, or whatever they call it. It's weird. It's like it just sits there in obscurity unless I retweet it. And then I think maybe after that, 1 or 2 people might see it. But it's very weird how the whole live stream thing works on X. I got to figure that out at some point in time. But yeah, let me just reshare it. Quote, I'm live. I'm live. I'm alive. Check my pulse. Okay. Yeah, I should have done a little late to the game there. It's weird. It's showing that there's 32 views. Oh, it's probably just people scrolling right on by. I mean, just take a second. Just throw me a bone there, boys and girls. Throw me a bone once in a while. But anyways, okay. So yeah, so it did get retweeted there now, right? Yep. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I was going to check my Rumble. Yep. Okay, Rumble's good. Yep. Rumble's working great. Excellent. It's a good thing. Let me make sure no comments on the old Rumble there. Anyways, we'll not get too worried about that. Just going to jump back into the stream here. Seems like it's been a pretty quiet morning. There must be a bunch of stuff going on there. I did give it a little more than 24-hour notice, but I don't know. There must be someone else of much more prominence and importance, right? That's doing something right now, and I'm just kind of being looked over. Maybe they'll get to see this later at some point in time. Anyways, let me just get in there and check with the last few comments or so, and then, like I say, I'll probably just tie this one up because it does seem like it's a bit of a quiet day, which hey, it happens. But don't worry, I'll be back doing more live streams. Where are we at here? Where are we at? There we go. It is almost as if we forgot about seasons. The fact the elderly die, right? I know, right? What a strange thing. Atmospheric river. Repeat. It's called the West or the Wet Coast for this reason. Good one. Thanks, GTO Mama, for pointing that stuff out. People are so brainwashed they would call Armageddon a result of climate change. So true, right? So true. Good point. Taxes make them richer. Perspective is important. So true. Safe, zero liability, effective equals huge profits. Perspective. Yes. Well, like I say, this. Do I really even have to say anything? I could literally just start a live stream and just read your folks' comments, right? Actually, no, I don't want to diminish myself too much in that regard. But yeah, no, I'm totally with you. Actually, let me just make sure I didn't have something else. Oh, actually, no, there was one more. Let me just bring this on because, wow, like I say, trying to tie everything. These people truly are insidious. Trying to tie everything into this. But look at this. Have you folks seen this? Wow. Wow, right? As if, the population isn't already in decline, and people, like, the replacement rate has been in free fall for quite some time. And the central planners, they think that they're going to fix this mess by just importing a bunch of fucking immigrants with this mass immigration push, right? And once again, this is nothing against immigrants themselves, but right? You're not going to create this kind of, I don't know how the fuck they think they're going to fix things by, and how's the climate change work out when you're bringing immigrants to the tune of 500,000 a year? How are you? I don't know how they talk out both sides of their mouths. Like we care about climate change, but we're going to, increase our population in these Western countries where everybody uses so much energy to the tune of, and especially a country like Canada, right? We're so bad. We use so much energy per capita, but we're going to increase that by bringing in 500,000 people a year. Like, I don't know how they square this stuff, but I mean, there's just so many areas where they're wrong, where they're just trying to come up with these band-aid solutions where this is one area where I'll admit there might be some malice from some people, especially the elitists, the central planning types, but some of these people in these scientific fields or studies and stuff, yeah, they have no idea the kind of trap that they're walking straight into. But anyways, so this is as you folks can see, yeah, no, this isn't the Inquirer, the National Enquirer, or what was that, the Globe, some tabloid member or whatever. No, this is actual fucking CBC Canada, first person. I got a vasectomy due to climate grief. Now I'm compelled to let go of my backup plan. I'm not sure I would have volunteered for the snip without the option to freeze my sperm. It's being reported by Daryl Wetter, December 6th, 2023. Daryl, my then partner, called out from a few rows back on a crowded flight. We'd originally been seated together, but I'd relocated so a mom could sit with her kids. When I looked back over the packed seats amidst the roar of burning engines, she smiled at me and mimed a scissor cut with 2 fingers. Yes, she finally said, in a gesture understandable only to me. For about 1.5 years, I'd been offering to get a vasectomy, to do more than just talk about how the world didn't need any more humans. These are people like, wow, self-loathing. Think about the kind of people that have put this guy in that kind of a fucking mindset. Think about the rhetoric, the kind of people he's around. I would suggest that this man needs to do better. Because, man, the people around you, I don't think they care a whole lot for you or your future, to be honest with you. Now, that's just my opinion here. You'll find out the truth eventually and in real time. And you're the one that's going to have to suffer the consequence. So you might want to think about this. But anyways, in around our old Nova Scotia house, I'd periodically make that horizontal scissor mime to reiterate my offer. News of rising temperatures on the kitchen radio, finger snip. Atlantic Ocean looking more and more disturbed, finger snip. Holy fuck. Even back then in 2007, the North Atlantic hurricane season was intensifying due to climate change. Snip, snip. Wow, right? A planet worrier since my early teens. Holy fuck. Who affected this man's life so negatively that since his teens, he's been living a life of paranoia and hysteria, basically, in terms of the climate. Something that I guess he's going to have to continue to live on for the rest. It's like, what a living hell. What a living hell. I mean, what kind of people are so insidious that they want to cause people to live such a life of hell, such anguish and anxiety? I don't know. I told each successive romantic partner that I wanted love, but not children. How can we bring a child into a world we know doesn't want it? We'll have trouble feeding it, and we'll lose more plant and animal life because we added yet another needy human being. Right? Everything else takes priority over the human. That's so weird. These people, I don't know. Seems like a lot of self-loathing. Seems like a psychologist could have fun, right? With these people. I shouldn't say fun. It would be quite a disturbing fucking session, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, to be honest, I may not have volunteered for the procedure in my 30s if I hadn't first confirmed that I could preemptively freeze some sperm at a private clinic. I gave us, or maybe just me, a cryogenic backup plan where my ex had needed a while to agree to the potential irrevocability of my step. I surprised myself by paying for 1 year of storage after another. What I had thought would be my hard no became a not yet for 15 years. That's part of why it was so thrilling when my now wife, Giselle, voluntarily mentioned not wanting kids on our first date. I guess it's good to get that out of the way, right? I mean, whatever, I guess, right? But just like someone else was pointing out earlier, I forget who it was, and I'm sorry if I can't remember who to attribute that to exactly, but more or less along the lines of who the fuck are all these people who don't want to have kids, but yet when they retire, they're going to want to be taken care of. Somebody's going to be taking care of them, 100% guaranteed, right? So I guess they also, in addition to being such self-loathing or so anti-human or so family or so having kids, but they're also trying to force or thrust or impose those of us who do have kids, right? You don't want to have kids, but hopefully Bennett has kids, and Bennett does have kids, and hopefully they have kids so that there's somebody there to take care. Well, fuck you, you selfish piece of shit. How about fuck you? How about I'm going to make sure. I mean, it's up to them. So not like I really have to tell them, right? But yeah, I would suggest to my kids or anyone else out there that, yeah, these fucking people, they don't want to take the personal responsibility of making sure that they have successive generations to help take care of them in their latter years. Well, fuck them. If they're stupid enough to make that choice, well, allow them to live with those choices. And no, that's not harsh. It's their own stupidity. Matter of fact, what might help change other people's perspective is they see how fucking terrible that pans out, how terrible that idea pans out when you bring that to fruition, right? Anyways. 3 years later, we got married and moved in a kind of working honeymoon to sweaty equatorial Singapore. Admittedly, our next 4 years of travel around Asia made us more part of the climate crisis problem than the solution. Well, all you had to do is just stop doing all your fucking traveling, right? Maybe you wouldn't have so much fucking guilt. That's the thing these people project. Do you see that? Do you see? It's a constant error. It's almost guaranteed. I'll always admit that there's exceptions and outliers, but almost without exception or very rare exceptions, these people are genuinely fucking projecting. I mean, it's right here in black and white once again. Every single inch of Vietnam's 15-kilometer Bai Trao Beach had a high water mark of plastic litter, toothpaste caps, tampon applicators, and shampoo bottles. Bali was indeed blissful, at least until we swarmed around drapes of ocean plastic. Given how rarely plastic is recycled, even here in Canada, some of the bottling water bottles we swam around could have been ours. Yeah, like I say, little guilt there, and yeah, that's them right there. This man and his wife there. Our travels were followed by a return home in 2020 to a Nova Scotia increasingly besieged by wildfires. After 15 years of paying to keep my jeans on ice with wildfires and hurricanes brewing, Giselle and I agreed to cease the payments to store my sperm sample and also any more false hopes or delusions. Our world, was never going to be more welcoming to yet another child. I mean, you don't have to have a kid, but there are all kinds of people out there that are having fucking kids. So, screw yourself if you want, but it's not going to stop everyone else. That's such a weird thing. Anyways, many couples learn that grief can be for the unborn, not just the dead. My climate grief is sewn inside my body, more intimate and more indelible than a Greenpeace tattoo. The titanium clips of my child-free vasectomy are both shackles and they're opposite. Freedom from one set of worries and yet a frank appraisal of others. For so many couples, co-creating children is part of love. For birth strikers like me and the woman I have loved and the women I've loved, not having children is a way to love the world and the life already on it. Such a weird mental distortion and twist of things to. And of course, this is the kind of rhetoric that the CBC, this is the kind of story that the CBC loves to tout and promote. Childless progressives who are self-loathing and anti-human, right? And not even critical thinkers in any stretch, or willing to even contemplate or consider that there may be alternative options than just fucking, playing the chicken little game and screaming that the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. There's better solutions on offer, I would suggest, and more will come to fruition as time goes by the beautiful geniuses of the world. So, hey, maybe stop giving up hope. Maybe stop the self-loathing. Maybe stop being so goddamn judgmental of others and maybe get in on doing something more constructive in terms of trying to help better things, right? Rather than just being a whiner. Anyways, folks, actually, I see there's one big comment down here. Let me get to it there. Hey, Darren Chica 442. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while in the streams. It's really good to see you've joined this one. I'm back, by the way, so you're going to see many more live streams, especially for the next few months for sure. Good day, Bennett. Glad you're on. Just noticed now. Climate change is a farce. Edmonton bought 60 EV transit buses for $60 million and only 20 work. Holy shit. Manufacturer went bankrupt. Yeah, that's just fucking crazy. That is pretty wild. And that's just one of countless examples that I even myself have seen. And it's what a waste, such a squandering of resources. And these are the people that are constantly talking about, they are the worst squanderers of resources. Like I say, which is why, once again, projecting. That's what they do. That's what they're going to become, or should be already infamous for at this point in time, right? Is not just alarmism, but their insidious chicken little nature that's so revealing about their mindset and the kind of people that they are. Anyways, really appreciate that. And I'm sorry that I'm actually going to be tying up the stream there now, Darren Chikada, but you can definitely check it out. The rest of it actually once it's tied up, and I really appreciate if you do. And I'm sure you folks, if you wouldn't mind, please help share this stuff out so I do get a little bit more traction on it. And if you don't want to watch it on YouTube, if you know people who are maybe interested in this kind of content and the fact that I'm going to be doing a lot more going forward, let them know that, I'm on Rumble and X. So these live streams are going out on Rumble and X every single time. So let them know that, hey, if you don't want to watch YouTube or whatever, that, yeah, you can support me on or by watching my content on some of these free speech platforms. But once again, really appreciate all you folks and everything that you've done in the past and continue doing what you're going to do going forward in your own little way to help stand up and support freedom and liberty. And like I say, you folks are the reason why I continue to do what I do, and I'm going to continue doing and go forward. So have yourself a great day. This is Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.